Real quick before we jump into the video, guys, for the rest of this year I'm going to be on a fundraising campaign to raise a minimum of £1,000 for the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. For more information on the charity and what it does, and for the donation links, please look in the description below. And thank you all for your continued support. Enjoy the show. What's going on, guys? I'm Tyranitars, and we're back with week 4 of the RBL. Your Royal Bournemouth Rabombies are taking on the Tillamook Tyranitars, and coach, they're all Taken. Now, Taken's got a pretty interesting record right now. He's currently 2 wins, 1 loss. We are, of course, 1 win and 2 losses. Unfortunately, after losing to a crit from Rykoustik last week, which definitely kind of sucked, but we got a pretty good matchup this week, honestly, against Taken. Taken's got a very, very scary team, but we have a lot of good answers into it, so it's going to be a very, very interesting match. But it is pretty fair to say that Taken's draft is probably one of my favorite drafts in the league. There's only a couple of picks that I don't agree with on this team, but nonetheless, this team is very, very interesting. So he's got some pretty well-known VGC Pokemon, of course, Grimmsnarl. It is his G-Max, but regular Grimmsnarl is actually very, very scary. It is a really good utility mod. We, of course, are very familiar with it, as we had it last season. So we're very familiar with G-Max Grimmsnarl. We know what it does. Screen's pretty strong, gets things like Scary Face, which can be very problematic for me. It gets Thunder Wave and stuff like that. Could be pretty annoying. We have Galarian Moltres and Comfy, of course, a very well-known VGC duo. Comfy, of course, with that triage, out-prioritizes even things like Aqua Jet from Inteleon and stuff like that, because triage gives quite a bit of priority. So you can easily set up a weakness policy with Galarian Moltres, which is incredibly specially bulky, which means that you're taking very little damage, especially if you Dynamax it. Things like Nasty Plot Moltres is very, very common with this set, because you can literally, if you survive enough hits, you can literally go to +5 special attack in 1 turn, which is insanely powerful and does a hell of a lot of damage. Moltres Galar's got a very high special attack stat as well. His other duo, which is somewhat underrated, is Togedemaru and Gyarados. This is something that he's used pretty frequently. Togedemaru, of course, gets Lightning Rod, which is really, really strong, especially when you pair that up with the Focus Sash. Makes it much harder to hit the Gyarados and makes Gyarados a lot easier to set up with those max airstreams, as well as things like Dragon Dance, which is entirely possible. Definitely very scary. We do have answers for both of these duos, though. Moltres Galar is physically not as bulky, so it's pretty easy to take it down on the physical side. And Togedemaru Gyarados, once you can wipe out Togedemaru's Lightning Rod, Gyarados is gone. Or alternatively, just wipe out the Togedemaru instead. It can be doable. We do just have to keep them under control. Other Pokemon he's got a very, very notable here is Rotom Heat and Aegislash. Rotom Heat, of course, probably my favorite Rotom in VGC format. Really, really strong. Hits incredibly hard, especially if you Dynamax it. Does have a little bit of a problem against my team, however, so I'm not entirely sure he could afford to bring it, because I do have some better answers into Rotom Heat, which is things like Terrakion and Garchomp, both of which outspeed and hit it incredibly hard. So, not entirely sure he could afford to bring Rotom Heat, but I wouldn't be too surprised. Aegislash, of course, probably the team that glues this team together really, really well, given the fact that his team is pretty weak to both Rock and Ice, which are very, very prominent offensive types in my team, as well as other teams in the format. So Aegislash resists both of those, which is a pretty interesting pickup. Again, I do have answers for Aegislash. I do have plenty of ways to break through it. So, I don't know if he brings Aegislash. I think he should, because it does answer my Terrakion reasonably well, although I can just run Stomping Tantrum, so I don't know. I think Aegislash is a very solid pickup. Another Pokemon on his team is criminally underrated, but is actually a very, very strong Pokemon, and he used it very, very well last week, is that Persian. Persian, was it last week or week before that you played, Matt? But Persian is pretty fast. It's 109 base speed, I think. Might be slightly faster than that, but it's fast enough that it outspeeds my physical attackers in Terrakion and Garchomp, and it does get access to Charm. So this is something that I have to be very careful of, especially if I'm running in with my physical threats. I do need to be aware of Persian. Persian can definitely cripple my plans. That being said, though, Persian does not offer too much in the way of damage, but its utility options are really strong. It does get access to Technician, Stab Boosted Fake Out, which is pretty scary. Ice Cube is an interesting Pokemon. It can actually do quite a lot. Obviously, Ice Cube with his ability makes it pretty good against physical attackers, but it's very bad against special attackers, and we do have a Celesteela that kind of blows it up. So I don't necessarily think Ice Cube really comes. And of course, Snom. Snom is a Snom. It's not going to do anything, but it exists. So that's pretty much all we have to say about that. But Pokemon I expect him to bring, I definitely expect either Moltres, Comfey, or Togedemaru Gyarados. I think against my team, Togedemaru Gyarados offers a little bit more. Comfey Galarian Moltres is definitely something I have to watch out for. I don't think he brings both. I definitely think he brings Rotom, Heat, and Aegislash. And I think Grimmsnarl Persian really does fit his team. Those are the 6 I kind of think he does bring. He brings those pretty frequently. I wouldn't be too surprised if he brought them again. Well, let's take you through our team and what we are going to do this week, because we have changed our playstyle a little bit. We are going balls to the wall hyper offense this time round. So, and of course our nicknaming convention with Taken being Taken, we have made our naming convention all different forms of Taken. You'll see when we get to it. So, leading the charge, we have Cotton the Whimsicott, holding Focus Sash as normal. I didn't feel a reason to change this. Running Prankster as usual, with Beat Up Moonblast, Worry Seed, and Tailwind. Worry Seed, of course, if I don't get faked out, actually takes away Togedemaru's Lightning Rod. I can also take away Comfey's Triage as well if I feel like I need to deal with that. Although Triage will actually out-prioritize Prankster, so that is something I do need to bear in mind. I can't deny a policy proc with this, but Worry Seed can actually be really nice as well, because I can take away Rotom's Levitate, which gives Garchomp a way to hit it, and stuff like that. Tailwind, of course, is really nice for my team, especially if he does run things like Scary Face on Grimmsnarl. I can actually just Tailwind and counteract that, which is pretty nice. We are Calm Nature, because we are running fully Spadef this week, as the majority of things that hit Whimsicott really, really hard are special. Things like the Galarian Moltres, Max Airstream, Rotom Heat, of course, with Max Flares, Aegislash with potential Max Steel Spikes. The vast majority of things hit this on the special side, so I decided to run fully Spadef this week. Mostly because I didn't really need the speed. I probably should have run a bit of speed for Persian, in case I opt to run Beat Up, but if he does, for some reason, decide to charm my Whimsicott instead, then Beat Up does even less damage, so we're fine. But if we're running Beat Up, then that means we are running AV Terrakion with our Justified, of course. So we are running our Terrakion with the idea of getting it to +4. We're running AV because, much like Whimsicott, a lot of things that hit this thing pretty hard are going to hit it on the special side. Although I do need to bear in mind that Gyarados could be a really big problem here. Although we do outpace Gyarados. Do need to just watch out for Intimidate access and stuff like that. But moveset-wise, we are running Iron Head, Stomping Tantrum, Rock Slide, and Close Combat. Iron Head, of course, nukes Comfey, and Grimmsnarl. Stomping Tantrum really does a number on Togedemaru, unless it's running Air Balloon. Rock Slide is just general stab, but hits incredibly hard. It absolutely destroys Galarian Moltres after a beat-up. And Close Combat is really nice for Togedemaru and Ice Cube. Can do a decent amount of damage. We definitely have to be careful. Of course, Close Combat also deals with Persian. So, pretty standard offensive set, really. Nothing too complicated. Obviously, do have to be mindful of my attack drops. Next up on the team is going to be Sniper. Now, Scope Lens, G-Max Inteleon as usual with Sniper, of course. Snipe Shot, Air Slash, Protect, and Ice Shard this week, which might seem a little bit odd on a specially offensive set, but Ice Shard is actually going to be coming useful for our next Pokemon, essentially. But we're also going to use this in case he does, for some reason, decide to try to bring some kind of like Manual Sun, or he max flares with Rotom Heat, stuff like that. We can change the weather to Hailstorm, which could be nice for his Ice Cube, but we have ways to break through it with things like Snipe Shot, so we're not too worried about that. We do hit pretty hard with this Inteleon, but largely Inteleon is not necessarily here to be super offensive. I could max this as well, go for max Airstreams just to make sure that I can outpace things like the Persian and stuff like that, but we do have Tailwind, of course, which allows us to do that perfectly fine as well. But we are running Timid, of course, because we don't want our Ice Shard to do too much damage to our Weakness Policy Garchomp that is coming this week, which is going to be very, very strong if we can get this set up, of course, with those +2, with the Rough Skin as usual. Protect, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and Stomping Tantrum is the move pool. Of course, with Steel, Rock, and Ground really hitting the majority of this team incredibly hard. He doesn't really have too many answers to this. Obviously, Persian can cripple me with charms and stuff like that, which is something I have to be mindful of. But under Tailwind, I deal with Persian really comfortably, and of course, Max Rockfall is just going to do a ton of damage. Max Quake, of course, is going to give me special defense boosts, which allows me to deal with things like the Aegis-Slash Rotom and the Moltres. Next up is going to be Howlin, running a jetpack this week, which is a pretty unusual item. We don't see too many jetpack items, but when my stats get lowered, we actually do get a pretty good reset, which can be a nice little pivot. And we are combining this with Lightning Rod, of course. This means that Zing Zap doesn't touch my next Pokemon, which is something I have to be mindful of for Togedemaru. He does generally bring it quite frequently. But we are running Overheat. Overheat is designed basically to blow up the Togedemaru, unless, of course, it's sashed, which it could be. It definitely could be sashed. Volt Switch, Eerie Impulse, and Snarl, really nice utility moves. Volt Switch is obviously going to be allowing us to pivot, especially once Togedemaru is gone. Volt Switch actually does a number on Gyarados, which is pretty nice. Snarl is pretty nice to deal with. Galarian Moltres, Comfy, Aegis-Slash, and Rotom Heat. Eerie Impulse drops special attack as well, so if I don't necessarily need the damage, or if I'm only facing one special attacker, I could just Eerie Impulse instead. Debated on running Flamethrower instead and running the Scarf, but I didn't think I really needed a Scarfer, as it's only really Persian I'm worried about outspeeding, unless of course he's allowed to max Airstream, which could be a problem, but if he doesn't do any damage, then even if he's faster than me, I still live these hits anyway. And last but by no means least is gonna be Celesteela. We are running Power Hub for the first time this season, as we are running our Power Hub Meteor Beam set. Meteor Beam, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Protect, pretty standard. We are max HP, max special attack, and modest. Not too surprising in terms of EV spread, there's nothing too complicated here. But this Meteor Beam, if I'm allowed to get it off against Gyarados, basically one-shots it. Under most circumstances, it also does a number on Rotom Heat. Flamethrower gives us coverage for Aegis-Slash, and Flash Cannon gives us coverage for Comfy, which is pretty nice. This coverage is generally very strong against his entire team. He doesn't really have the best answers to all of this. So, we can definitely deal with this team pretty well. We do just have to be careful about some of his support Pokemon especially are pretty scary. But that's going to be our team, so let's take you into the battle. See you in a minute. Alrighty then guys, we are connected up with Taken, of course. I'll do the player rules, of course. If you've skipped through the team builder, you can see the 6 Pokemon I'm bringing up there. I highly encourage you to watch the team builder, because even though we're bringing fairly similar Pokemon, the movesets are very different. So bear that in mind. You can see the 6 Pokemon I think Brian's going to be bringing down below. There is a good chance he brings Comfy, Galarian Moltres instead of Gyarados, Togedemaru. But of the 2 main duos, I think Gyarados, Togedemaru is probably the better option. But we will see. Definitely need to worry about the Grimmsnarl and the Persian, however. So we will see what Brian has got for us. Good luck, have fun, Brian, of course. It's a pleasure to be facing you. So, let's see, what did you bring for us? How accurate were we? He did bring the Moltres, no Comfy, though. Interesting. And he does not bring the Persian, it's just the Moltres. Okay. I'm kind of fine with this, to be honest. So, what's to stop me leading Whimsicott Terrakion, then? Like, how does he beat Whimsicott Terrakion? I guess he can T-Wave me, which is a problem. Garchomp also feels pretty good this match. We have a lot of good things for this matchup. What if I lead Manectric? I think there's a good chance he leads Togedemaru Gyarados here. And even if he doesn't, Manectric Steeler feels like a pretty good lead here. We definitely want Whimsicott. I think Terrakion might be the play here. Inteleon doesn't feel that great here. Garchomp is also pretty good here. Garchomp's actually very good against his entire team bar Grimmsnarl. So I could bring in Garchomp. We'll bring Terrakion first, though. Okay, so no Persian, he brings Galarian Moltres instead. Do I have a Galarian Moltres spray? I hope I do. Yeah, I do. Alright. Cool. Alrighty. So let's see what he brought. Yeah, Togedemaru Gyarados. So we got the lead correct, pretty much. This is what we expected. Alright. So he might expect me to side Volt Switch into a policy, which is something I actually tried in testing, but I actually found it not super successful for me. What is happening here? Oh. It's Air Balloon Togedemaru. Okay. That's good to know. So he was worried about Garchomp. We are actually going to switch ourselves out, which is not quite ideal for us. But that does mean that we can go into Whimsicott instead. Bit of an unusual turn. That's an interaction that doesn't happen very often. So now I think you fake out either way, but the question is, who do you fake out? I mean, I guess you don't really care if Tailwind goes up, right? Does he have Ice Fang for my Manectric? Oh, not for my Manectric, for Whimsicott. Yeah, I think we actually switch out. I did not expect a Jack back to work turn 1, I have to be honest. It didn't actually do that on Showdown when I tested it, so that was kind of strange. On the off chance that we can get this up, I'm down to Tailwind Meteor Beam the Gyarados. As he did fake out the Whimsicott, so we have a good chance of getting this power beam up. He is Ice Fang, so we do know what he has now. But he doesn't actually kill me, which is really good news. And we see Life Orb on the Gyarados. So here comes the Meteor Beam that is Power Herbed. Do we connect? We do. Does this knock the Gyarados out? Nice. Okay. So, Celesteela kills Gyarados. So even though we didn't quite get what we intended out of this turn 1, we actually played that really well. I'm really happy that the Fake Out plus Ice Fang does not kill Spadef Whimsicott. We are max HP, mind. So that's what helped us live there. But we're also +2 special attack on our Celesteela. Here comes the Rotom Heat. Okay. So now we definitely go for the Tailwind. And we can now Dynamax the Rock and Rockfall the Rotom. I don't think we're even worried about Togedemaru anymore. I mean, there's a good chance he maxes the Rotom here. Which he does. Okay. But I think +2 max Rockfall should kill, to be honest. I don't think you ever live this. And unless you Scarf Rotom, I think Steeler and Tailwind outspeeds. And even if it doesn't, you probably still die. Because we definitely live. Alright, so we're going to commit our max to Steeler here. So if he's maxing Rotom, he doesn't have Moltres in the back. So, is he Aegislash? Probably, right? Okay, we get our Tailwind off. Now we should see if we're faster. We are, so it's not Scarf Rotom, which is good news. Does this just drop? Yeah. Alright, Steela's on a rampage. Celesteela kills Rotom Heat. Alright, so now he's wasted his max and we still have 2 turns of ours. So we're kind of not bothered by the Togedemaru. We're +3 now. Does he Zings at me? Iron Head, actually. So he's going to kill Whimsicott. Togedemaru kills Whimsicott. But Whimsicott did its job. So now what's the last Pokemon? Is it Aegislash? I'm actually just gonna go straight into Manectric. So I should have run Flamethrower then, if I knew this was gonna happen, but we will bring back Howlin'. Yeah, it is Aegislash, okay. So this overheat probably just murders Togedemaru, honestly. And then we max flare the Aegis Slash. We do see the King Shield, which is not too surprising. Okay, we connect this overheat. And that's a dead Togedemaru. Okay. Main Actric kills Togedemaru. And this flare's gonna hurt. Even through the protect. Yeah, look at that. And that's 25% damage, so this Aegis Slash would die probably twice from that. So the question is, are you physical or special Aegis Slash? I guess that's the only question we still need to answer here. But I can still overheat again. And then max flare. Because he has to double protect here and hope to get it. Which he didn't even go for. Okay, and even at -2, my Netric just murdered the Aegis Slash. I did get a crit there. I don't know if that crit actually matters, but... Well, no, it doesn't, because the max flare would kill anyway. So if anything, it just denies Celesteela a kill, but that's fine. So now he's got to figure out how does he play against Celesteela. So that was a good game 1 for us. Very good composed game 1. So we know the Gyarados is now Intimidate, which makes this a little bit more difficult. Because I don't really want to switch in main Netric, although we did also figure out the double up does not kill Whimsicott. So the question is, what does he do? Does he lead Rotom to try to counter Whimsicott? I guess he should lead Rotom, right? What if I go balls to the wall and lead Inteleon and Garchomp? I guess this wouldn't work if he was Intimidate, or if he leads Gyarados again, but I don't know if he does, because it just got one shot. And Gyarados did not do that much against my team at all. Terrakion does a number against quite a fair few of this team, if I can get the beat up off. I guess we can try that. We'll bring Whimsicott, Terrakion. Garchomp and Steela, I guess? Because we definitely do want Steela. For sure. Steela is just like really good against this team. Let's try this out. Because I definitely think he needs to change his lead. He can't lead the same again. Alright. What do you lead this time, Brian? What have you got for us? Grimstar Rotom. Yeah, that's what I expected. That's pretty much what I expected. So I guess the big question here is, do you have Fake Out on this Grimmsnarl? Because if you don't, I can go for Beat Up onto Terrakion here. So I think that's what we go for. Yeah, do I just go for Beat Up Max Rockfall? Okay, we're gonna max first anyway, because Terrakion is faster than the whole team. But I want to see what his answer to this is. Okay, do you have Fake Out, and did you click it? You do have Fake Out, and you did click it. Okay, well that's fine. Interesting that he chose not to max the Rotom. Because he does not live that. Okay. Terrakion kills Rotom Heat. Hey. Alright, so what's his next play? Aegis Slash. Okay. We have Stomping Tantrum for this, so... we can beat up Terrakion and max Quake into Aegis Slash. I mean, I guess he could set up Reflect, or he can try to charm my Terrakion. I think Grimmsnarl gets Charm. Does it get Charm? Actually, I don't know if it does. I don't know if it gets Charm, actually. I never actually considered that when I was prepping. I should remember if it does. I used it last season, but... Well, he's giving me time, so I guess I can look. Okay, he's maxing this time. Grimmsnarl. Do you get Charm? He actually maxes the Aegis Slash this time. Interesting. You do not appear to get Charm. Good to know. Because he does set up the Reflect. Okay. I wonder if +4 max Quake actually beats this thing. Oh, he's Sugarberry. Interesting. Really good. Really good prep. That did 0. Damn. Okay, we are gonna get the +4 boost. I actually did not prep my speed tiers correctly here. But I don't think we die because of the special defense boost. So I guess I'm not super bothered by that. Yeah, I should have prepped my speed tiers a little more carefully. I should have put myself bulky support. I do actually crit myself, which is kind of funny. So yeah, slightly messed up speed tier. But you know what? It's fine. Because we should take anything from this thing. Oh, I guess he could Steel Spike. Yeah. Does he go after my Terrakion? Does this kill me? Yeah, no. Although, interestingly, that did very little to me. And I know... Because I'm not bulky on this Terrakion at all. Like, this Terrakion is not bulky. Well, here's something else I can potentially do. If he tries to attack me again, I can actually Worry Seed the Aegis Slash to lock him into being in Blade form. And then go for the Quake. Or do I kill the Grimmsnarl? I don't think Grimmsnarl's doing enough to me to justify me killing it. So let's go for the Quake. Oh, I messed up. He does T-Wave me. That was a good play on his part. We do actually still connect though, which is good. We are +4. This should just blow up the Aegis Slash. Yep, Aegis Slash is gone. Our max is done as well, but that's also fine. Terrakion kills Aegis Slash. Okay. So this kind of shows the advantage of hyper offense in this situation, where like, yes, this Grimmsnarl is annoying, but it's not doing enough to bother me here. You know what I mean? And it's Gyarados in the back, so we Tailwind here then. He does Intimidate, drop my attack, but that's fine. We're still +3. I'm pretty sure this thing still dies. I guess the downside here is I actually have to connect the Rock Slide now. So we're gonna go for Tailwind. We're gonna go for the Rock Slide. Because we do still have Solar Stealer in the back, so this Gyarados does not do well here. But yeah, this was the disadvantage of Taken's matchup into me, in my opinion. Is I had answers for everything on his team. He does Thunder Wave my Whimsicott, which doesn't really do that much for him, to be honest. We do get paralyzed. We don't get paralyzed. We do connect, and that is a dead Gyarados. Okay. Terrakion kills Gyarados. And now, if we don't get paralyzed here, we just Iron Head the Grimmsnarl, and Terrakion gets a 4-0, which is pretty nuts, to be honest. We Moonblast the Grimmsnarl and Iron Head. And he forfeits, so we don't actually get the kill. But that is a clean 4-0 for us. So GG's to Brian. That was a good game. I appreciate that. He's just said GG's already. I'll post results shortly. There. But yeah, great games to Taken. He's a very, very good player. If you haven't watched his battles, you guys need to go watch them. Link to all of the coaches, as well as the doc and the RBL merch, will be in the description, as always, for our battles. Next week, I believe we are playing Bant. Am I right? I believe we're playing Bant JK and his Rain/Trick Room team next. I really should get better at remembering who I'm playing next. Yes we are, we're playing Bant, so that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a really, really fun match. So I'm excited to play that one, but as always, thank you so much for watching. My name is Rabombi Teacher, I'm your coach of the Royal Bomber for Bombies. Stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it, and if you liked the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so that you never miss an upload. We upload every single day on this channel. Make sure you're following me on all of my social medias on the screen right now, and a huge shout out to the shiny Rabombis of this month: Araya Jade, The Crazed Artist, Mr. Burns 1988, and Average Gaming 017. Thank you all for your continued support.